Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Happy International Women's Day. I'm super excited about today's session. This is our fourth in our Women of Analytics series, where we not only spotlight someone outside of InfoTrust, but we spotlight one of the amazing women at InfoTrust as well. So today I'm joined by Barb and Laurie. Laurie comes from Google. Barb comes with InfoTrust. I'll let them share their intros. But I'm thrilled to be a part of this series. I have two young daughters, 5 and 8, Reese and Zoe. And part of the inspiration for me being a part of this was just, I want to make sure that my daughters, as they grow up and continue to think about their careers and where they want to go, that they get to hear from amazing, inspiring women. And I think it's important for males, men to support this and be a part of it and like just advocate and push for it, because it's really important. So with that, I'm going to go off screen, but let me first, I will kick it over to Barb from InfoTrust. She's going to kick us off today, but thank you both. You're both amazing women. I'm excited about today. We have a lot of events at InfoTrust outside of this one. We think it's really important. And it is it's Happy International Women's Day. So ladies, I'll pass it over to you. I look forward to the conversation, and I will jump back on when we're about at time, which today is going to be a 30-minute session. So one last note for those of you, if this is your first session, all 3 other sessions are online at infotrust.com. So feel free to check out some of our other speakers and be looking forward to more. So Barb, with that, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Brad. That was really great. I'm really happy to be here for International Women's Day. Pardon me. So really excited about this series, Women in Analytics. I think it's a great platform for women to be able to discuss analytics, any strides they're making in the industry, and also to help all of us women and men too understand the analytics space and maybe gain some more knowledge in it. I currently work at InfoTrust as a digital analytics consultant, and I focus on analytics with Google Analytics and also building dashboards and creating all sorts of beautiful reports for our clients here at InfoTrust. And I'm really excited to have Laurie on with us today, as Laurie is a senior Google Marketing Platform partner. And she's based in San Francisco, so who doesn't love the Golden Gate Bridge? Everyone does, I think. She arrived at her position through Adometry, a Saas-based startup, and now she's been working with the Google Analytics and Google 360 suite for a few years, and she's been with Google for 6.5 years. She's been highly focused in the analytics space and the measurement side of business, and also working with partners such as InfoTrust. And her main role is to manage and grow Google's partners and with a partner-first approach for speed and scale. And a fun fact about Laurie is, this is amazing, by the way, I just learned this today, that she hiked to base camp at Everest. So I don't know what that entails. I'm sure it's a lot of work to be able to hike just to the base camp of Mount Everest. So Laurie, thank you so much for joining us. We're really happy that you're here. And why don't you just do a little background about yourself and how you got into the analytics space?
Sure. Thank you, Barbara. Thanks for the introduction. And thank you, InfoTrust, for having me here. I'm so excited. Happy International Women's Day to everybody watching and listening, and to all the women out there. And Brad and InfoTrust team, thank you for your allyship. So a little bit about me. Barbara, you gave a great, wonderful introduction. A lot of times data and analytics is much harder than the Everest Base Camp hike. All I had to do was put one foot in front of the other for like 2.5 weeks, whereas data and analytics entails a whole lot of other things. So yeah, as Barbara mentioned, I am a senior partner manager. So I am highly focused on our GMP partners such as InfoTrust and a few other partners within the Americas region. We're hyper focused on digital maturity, so ensuring that our marketers are using our platforms to the best of their abilities and really advancing through our platforms and getting the most out of it to become very mature marketers. So every day I get to work with the likes of Brad and the InfoTrust team and a whole slew of players within the digital analytics ecosystem. And it's always fun and challenging, and every day is different.
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely every day is different, which is one of the great reasons why I like working in analytics. But how did you get to this place you are in digital analytics. What was your path? Where did you come from? I personally came from a marketing background. So psychology first, industrial and organizational psychology, which business psychology, I guess you could compare it to, and then into marketing and then into the digital analytics. So what was your career path?
It's an interesting path. I feel like we have similar interests. We'll have to talk more later. But yeah, similarly, like my undergraduate degree was in economics. So I've always liked numbers and statistics and just numbers that make sense and sort of tell a story. And then I have an MBA in marketing. So adding on that marketing side and the business side of things. So I really didn't know what I was going to do outside of just really enjoying numbers and marketing. But that actually led me to a path in Florida, actually, where I'm from, working on the client side of the business. So education. And I was a digital media buyer and analyst. So hyper-focused on analyzing digital data, so ads data, and then telling a story. And that entailed, doing projections and analyzing outcomes and things like that. So that's what initially brought me into the digital advertising world. And then from there, I actually went to a startup, so Adometry, a Saas-based startup in Austin, Texas. And I guess that was around 8 or so years ago now, 9 years maybe. So it's been a while. But, it was the digital frontier in terms of, like being able to understand data and how do we attribute all of the various touch points from users jumping from devices to, their computers, to the TV ads, to just all these various touch points. So how do you assign credit and how do you really sort of track that user's journey and to ensure that, they're getting the right message and the right content? And so I think, it was maybe a little before its time, but it has always been near and dear to my heart to ensure that, like we're measuring things correctly. And then I guess again, like what is that user story? So that's always been very telling for me, is how do you collect that data? And then how do you tell a story? What does it actually mean? And then from there, Adometry was actually acquired, actually almost 7 years now in May, by Google. And we launched Attribution 360 within the 360 suite. It has since been deprecated, but that actually brought me to working with partners on the Google marketing platform. So hyper-focused on more of the measurement side of the business, but GMP in general. And here I am today.
Yeah, I mean, that customer journey is always a very hot topic for all marketers. I know that for sure. And especially now with the, browser restrictions on third-party cookies and things like that, I always feel like it's more of a way to gain more loyalty for your customers rather than being scared that the third-party cookies are going away. I mean, what are your thoughts on that too? I think that, we can actually use our first-party data more to get into our customers' thoughts and how they're reacting to the marketing. And then you're also actually building a better relationship with them. I mean, don't you feel the same way? Or
I absolutely agree, Barbara. I think, like it's definitely top of mind. I think we're just respecting the user. We're doing right by the user, and we can still, do what we set out to do. We're just doing it in a different way, and we have to be more creative about it. And it brings up, now we can use just very advanced technology like machine learning and predictive modeling and forecasting. And it's just so fun. It's cutting edge, right? So I think like we can definitely mix privacy with security, and come up with these innovative, creative solutions. So yeah, it's an ever-changing time, but it's also very exciting.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everything's always changing in analytics, isn't it? So how would you suggest building confidence for somebody that wants to that's young, that wants to get into the space, or somebody that like wants a career change, like I kind of did, and maybe you kind of did as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, there's so many different ways. I think, there's different communities where you can get involved with just like-minded individuals that work in this space already. So the DAA is the Digital Analytics Association, and I know like a lot of you are part of that, and they throw some great events, and I think probably all of our partners are involved. It's a great mix and a great community. I know they've and are rolling out a program for just getting more women involved in analytics. So that's a great one. Industry publications, of course, just staying on top of those and the landscape. And then as our partners as well. So InfoTrust, I mean, you know, Barbara, like you guys are pushing out great content. You're thought leaders within the industry. I know you guys just released a book, Crawl, Walk, Run, Advancing Digital Marketing Through GMP. And then LinkedIn. So, I mean, go ahead and stalk people in the industry and message them and chat with them and, ask them what they like and, ask them for best practices and tips and network. I think networking is huge. So I think, it involves all of those things, but there's so many different resources and so many people out there that are just have so much knowledge in this space that it's just so great to get in contact with them and network and continue to learn and grow. And many of our partners are hiring, and even though we're in a pandemic, so it's so great to hear that, just knowing that the industry continues to grow and evolve.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Now digital analytics is more important than ever because everybody's coming to the site rather than going to a store, right? So a lot of e-commerce customers had that come through. And I will say that the DAA, I'm actually Chicago's chapter leader, one of them actually, there's 3 of us. But they have a really great mentoring program. And you don't even have to be in the mentoring program. Like you said, you can reach out to people on LinkedIn and say, hey, can we have coffee? Well, virtual coffee right now, right? So let's have a virtual coffee. Please tell me your career path. Show me how, you came into the industry. What can I do? What kind of things can I read? Like Google has their individual qualification. See, I almost forgot what it was. We have to take it every year, obviously, but yeah, like even just studying for that or taking those kinds of exams or, even going on to Coursera, because I know that Google uses Coursera a lot for training and development of people, like certifications and things of that nature are always helpful and always boost your resume, I feel too. And then the mentoring program of the DAA, Women in Analytics, there's a special mentoring program for women, and not only women, but also men are allowed to be mentored, but it's really great. There's some really amazing people out there that you can connect with and learn from. And then that helps give you confidence to, possibly go for a job in analytics. It's not something that's it's not something that needs to be so scary. Everybody in analytics, I feel at least, I feel like it's my tribe, everybody's really nice. Everybody's really helpful. And everybody really wants everyone else to succeed. We all want to build each other up. Especially us women, we kind of band together like a little tribe of our own in analytics.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are your go-to resources that you encourage everybody to read? Like, I know there's a bunch of people out there, like SEMO has a blog that's pretty good, or what are yours?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just want to call on your last point. I love, the mentorship program. And I know, just thinking about data and analytics in general and getting more women into the field. I think, 59% of women make up the workforce today, but only about 18% of women are in analytics and data type roles. And then within that 18%, I think only about 17% are within leadership roles. So it's very staggering statistics. And I know, Barbara, you said you have the mentoring program and you're just hyper focused on just getting more talent and more women into the data and analytics type roles. So I thought that was a great call out, and that made me very happy to hear that. So industry publications. Think with Google, of course, is a great one. We, try to keep up with the latest POV on trends and things going on in the industry. Again, our partners, I know InfoTrust you guys are pumping out a ton of content on the landscape, on the space, and really taking that approach as thought leaders within the measurement and analytics space. And again, on the privacy topic, as it's ever changing. Some of our consultants, so like BCG and McKinsey, are doing some great studies as well. And then just industry, ad tech publications like the MarTech series. I think there's ad tech, IAB as another one, Ad Exchanger, Ad Week. All of those are great publications, just to kind of take a quick peek at and just stay up to date on the latest and greatest, because it is changing ever frequently, for the good, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of movement. So it's always great to stay up to date on everything going on in the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with the more use of machine learning and AI and all of that in analytics, it's becoming more and more important to keep up on industry trends. I think we're used to that as marketers. We were always doing that, kind of like, what's the next new platform? Is it TikTok or is it Instagram? Where are the kids going these days, right? So definitely in analytics, I think it's very important to keep up on those industry trends as well. So
Laurie, can you hear me?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes. Did we lose Barb?
I believe so.
No, it was just
No. Barb, come back to us.
Well, let's give her a minute too. One of the things you mentioned, Laurie, that I was going to call out towards the end is networking. I even think about, even if you're attending this webinar or watching the recording down the road, I mean, even if you're not interested in data analytics, and let's say you're interested in like partnerships or sales, or you're interested in interior design. My wife is interior designer, right? I mean, if she talks with women that are still in university and still studying and thinking about what they want to be, and she has a lot of conversations with those folks explaining what her career is and what she does. And there's one side of LinkedIn messages where someone's trying to sell you something and get your business or get you on a call that nobody has time for. But I think even, speaking for all of us, I think if anybody reaches out to say, hey, I just would love to pick your brain on your industry, on your career, and it's like genuine, I think it's a very big difference. So I would encourage anybody watching this, even if it's not data and analytics, like reach out to folks, anybody at InfoTrust, especially, women or men, like it doesn't matter, like reach out and ask those questions of how we can help you understand what is the good, the bad, the ugly of this, the industry, and like what you should expect for and prepare for it. So
sorry about that, guys. For some reason, my internet decided to go down. So now I'm on my hotspot on my phone. Isn't technology great?
no worries, Barb. Welcome back. I'm jumping off. I just kind of jumped in because I really we were talking about the LinkedIn. And like when you ask somebody for help and it comes from a genuine place of like, hey, I'm thinking about what I want my career to be. I'm thinking about what can I be looking forward to? Can I pick your brain? I think everybody's open to that. So it's very different when you're like genuinely saying, I want to learn more about something versus like, I'm trying to sell you something. So I just jumped in on what Laurie mentioned earlier, and I'm going to jump back to you.
I think I was in the middle of asking a question, but I forgot where I left off. Oh yeah, how did you become an analytics rock star, Laurie?
Oh, I love that you say rock star. I feel like I'm just doing my job and I learn something new every day from just like-minded individuals and partners like yourselves. So I think it's the spirit of the partnership that keeps me energized, keeps me going, keeps me on my toes. It's all about, relationships too. Like I love the people that I work with. My team is great. Management is wonderful. My colleagues are wonderful. And really being able to come to work every day and help create and shape, this industry that we're in, and help partners like InfoTrust grow and succeed, and help marketers advance their maturity. So it's really a win-win-win for everybody. And so, yes, there are days that are crazy and hectic and chaotic, and there's a ton going on. But it really keeps me going. I'm very passionate about the space, about what we're doing. Also, being able to add a diversity lens to the events that we throw. I know we threw Google with our partners, last November, we threw a digital data and analytics summit, and we really incorporated diversity and equity, and made sure that we had women speakers. And that's been a big kind of thing for me, is in all of our events, ensuring that we have women on stage and in our panels, and just equal representation. So really getting to do that, and then shape the culture to incorporate the diversity and diverse perspectives, and making sure that we are, representing both women and men equally, and our perspectives really matter, really, even in creating, our products. Like, having different perspectives really shapes the product. So all of that is just very energizing to me, and I guess that makes me excited to come to work every day.
Yeah, it definitely is not a data entry job where you think you go in and you do everything the same every day. Every day is different, and it's really amazing to see all of the diversity and all of the people coming together and supporting everyone, really. I think it's a really great community, for sure. I did share, everyone in the chat, our LinkedIn profiles, both mine and Laurie's. Through mine, you can see Brad. I think Brad is also on Laurie's as well. So sorry, Brad, I didn't have yours handy and available, but for sure, definitely reach out to us if you have any other questions. I think we have about a couple more minutes. Are there any questions? I don't see any questions in the chat, but does anyone have a question for Laurie that they'd like to have her answer? Maybe not. You'd have to unmute. I wonder if you can if attendees can unmute themselves. Maybe not. Maybe just type it in the chat and we'll see. But well, I guess we'll get back to that. So out of all the things that you do at Google, and all the partnerships that you help build, what is your favorite thing about analytics?
Favorite thing. So I would say, outside of the pandemic, when we could actually travel, it would be, meeting partners face to face, and really just having conversations again. It just really helps to have that face to face interaction in the spirit of the partnership. So I think for me, I'm a people person. I love meeting people. I love talking to people, trying to, understand them, which I always try to learn something from them. So it really is the partnerships, right? And growing and fostering the people side of the business. And when you grow those partnerships, you just create a trust and, radical candor within your conversations. And it just ignites so many things, the growth that we see within InfoTrust, and then that trickles down to your clients. And I think that trust is inherent too, and they know that you're trying to do right by them. So I would say, yeah, partnerships, and more so if we could do it outside of this digital lens.
Yeah, definitely. We have a question from Brendan. He wanted to know, what are the qualities you appreciate in a strong mentor? Are there examples of mentors who've helped you grow? Yeah, Laurie, you want to take it first? Take it away.
That's a great question, Brendan. Thank you so much. So I was just reading an article last night, actually, and it was around, and I guess it was more along the lines of, what you studied, Barbara, organizational psychology, so industrial, right, like within companies. And it was all about, having the right leadership and management. And, if they really believe in their capabilities to manage their team, then it really fosters what the team is capable of. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will, right? And so I think that's super important, just to have good people managers and people that really care and invest in you as a person, that want to see you grow, that can seek out those strengths that they see within you that you might not notice, and really sort of push and foster those. So that's always been a big one for me, as well as just outside of like our, immediate teams. I know within Google, we just have so many programs. I'm a part of Women At, so I'm a co-lead for our Women At chapter within the SFO region. And there's been so many women there that I, talk to and connect with and network with and learn from. I've had, some great women mentors come out of that, that I've just kind of had again like a digital coffee chat with and just stayed connected to, and now I can go back to them and ask for advice, and just knowing that I have them there. And I think in order to do that, it is relationship building, and it's when somebody asks you for a favor, if you can help them in a way, then I think that naturally creates this symbiotic relationship where you can go back to them and ask for a favor, ask for help. So I'm always trying to foster those relationships, and also just kind of pinpointing women that I think are inspirational, women and men, right? Just inspirational leaders. So people that I aspire to learn from and that have these wonderful attributes. Just you have to have somebody to look up to and somebody to admire. So I'm always trying to figure out who those people are and stay connected to them. It's a loaded question, Brennan, but hopefully that gave you some examples.
Yeah, I would agree too, that anybody that is a manager that helps you grow, or helps you develop, or says something like, hey, I know that in our group we're doing this over here, but you're over here in this other group, so maybe you can work on a special project with them to get that kind of experience. Even volunteering your time to do analytics. I work with a brokerage firm that they don't have, they work in the financial services industry, but they don't have money to spend on a company to do analytics for them. So I volunteer my time with them, and I help them, learn more about Google Analytics and analytics in general, and how to help them with their marketing and their reach out to their customers. So I think volunteering is another good way to do that as well. And it keeps you on your toes, right? Trying to explain something that in your head to somebody that has no idea what you're talking about. It's difficult at times, but it's really, really helpful for both them and you. You can grow and develop together. And I think Brad is back. There he is. Hi, Brad.
Hello. Well, thank you both. Barb, thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being a part of InfoTrust and being a leader and someone that folks can admire too. So thank you for that. And Laurie, thanks for being an amazing partner, friend. I think both of you are a lot of inspiration for folks watching this, trying to find their path or just know that they can be leaders within their organization. Laurie, I think what's going to stick with me this session is the 17% number, which is just not what we want, right? So hopefully we can change that faster. I want both of my daughters to be leaders, and I think that 17% number is sad. So let's use this as a forum, and let's continue this series. For those of you who are watching now or later, if you know someone in analytics, somebody that you like to be a part of this session because you do admire them, you think they're amazing, please reach out through our site. We'd love to get them on in upcoming series. But thank you both. Thanks for the time today. Happy International Women's Day to you both. Make sure you have some celebrations. I know we do at our organization. I'm sure Google does, Laurie, as well. But have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and we look forward to the next session.
Thanks, you, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.